Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Metal Gear Solid 5. And boy am I in the mood for some stealth action today. Now this session I've got about an hour and 10 minutes before I have to go out, so I have to squeeze everything in as quickly as I can but as effectively as I can. So here's how this session is going to work. The first 10 minutes of this session I've just got a little bit of explaining to do regarding a couple of bits and bats. Then I'm going to play the cassette playbacks that I've got, which will take about another 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to dive into some missions, but bear with me. In the last session, very slow paced, I had a few things to learn, a lot of things were thrown at me, and I wasn't entirely comfortable doing all that on camera because it's quite awkward, but it had to be done. So I'm much happier now. I've done some free roam mode to get used to certain features, and I've also replayed a couple of missions. So here we go.
Please select a mission.
Now I replayed the Phantom Limbs, the first mission to extract Miller, got an S rank. Very happy with that. As a result of getting an S rank, I got a nice pot of loot, a nice pot of booty, some GMP, and I got an A rank on the C2W mission to destroy the comms equipment. I would have got an S rank, but right at the very end, when I was extracting or exfiltrating away from the comms post, and I blew up with the C4 the comms equipment, a guard was too close and ended up getting killed. So I lost the perfect stealth bonus, no kill bonus, and that was as a result of that. That's what bumped me down to an A. So I was so close, but I can replay this a third time if I deem it necessary to get an S rank. But I'm quite happy with an A. So by replaying those two missions, I got a very nice pot of GMP to use, and I did put that to good use indeed. So as a result of having a nice big pot of money,
please specify a project,
and also extracting a few more soldiers whilst undertaking those replayed missions, I developed level 2 pistol. So this increases the stopping power, i.e. more damage. It also increases its range and gives it a flashlight. This is going to be my main pistol throughout the game, I think, so upgrading this is definitely a priority. I have also developed, I don't know if I had this last time or not, but I have developed a smoke grenade to use. I have also developed a flare grenade which uses a flare to signal support for your helicopter to come and help you, and also a supply drop as well. But you can do this with your iDroid, can't you? As far as I could tell, you could call in support for the helicopter, or also you can ask for a supply drop through your iDroid. So I'm not sure what the difference between these and your iDroid support is. So if somebody could tell me the difference, that would be very useful. Until I know the difference, I'm not going to develop any further, because it seems kind of pointless to me. But anyway, so that's the development there. I've also developed a capture cage to capture animals, so we can have our very own menagerie back on Mother Base, I suppose. And yeah, I have upgraded my int scope to level 2, which gives it an analyzer feature so that you can tell what skills the enemy have, just in case you want to extract them. iDroid has been upgraded with a speaker function, and the Fulton device has been upgraded to now carry cargo, i.e. gun emplacements and mortars, so that we can deck out Mother Base with some firepower. And one final thing, I have now downloaded the Ground Zeroes game save. I couldn't do it when I started this LP because the servers were down, but now I've done it, I have got the SV sneaking suit as a result. So I'm going to be decking myself out in that in the next mission or two. All-weather survival and infiltration suit designed to be heat, water and shock resistant, while also maintaining optimum body temperature. Noise dampening soles eliminate the sound of footsteps. Very nice. So yeah, all of that was a result of me getting some more money, some more GMP by replaying just 2 missions, which took me about 45 minutes to do. So very, very nice indeed. I've also developed for mayonnaise
Please specify a project.
some battle dress, and for my helicopter
Please specify a project.
I have upgraded the chassis, better cruise speed and faster deployment. I have given it a speaker function so I can blare out the tunes when I'm flying around, a Gatling gun, and I can actually give it a air-to-ground rocket launcher, but I'm running a little bit low on money at the moment, so I'm holding off on that for now. So yes, quite a bit of upgrading was done to my bits, to my bats, to my buddies' bits and bats, and to my helicopter as well. Now I'm just going to double check if I've put all the stuff on here. Yeah, we have. We have put everything on. Okay. Righty-ho. Now in terms of customization, I have also changed my emblem, as you can see. The DD Diamond Dogs emblem has been changed from the original. Put a big red diamond in the middle of it, like a playing card diamond, you see. Diamond Dogs diamond. You get it there? Anyway, don't know what bearing that will serve other than cosmetic really in the game, but I have changed that. And that's it. So there you go. That's what I've done off camera. Fear not, all the missions will be done on camera first time of asking. Blind, you know, going through blind, doing as much as I can on camera in terms of completing the missions. But then, if I'm not happy with the grade, I'll go back and redo it, get a higher ranking, get some more money, even have a proper scout around and look for missed opportunities, missed diamonds, missed resources, etc. So that's a good way of doing it, I think. Anyway, enough chit chat from me. We now have some cassette tapes to play back, so here we go. Starting with Ocelot's briefing number 3. Where is Zero?
Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's arteries make the world just one big organism, and that's not all. It also monitors the thorn in Zero's side. That's you, tracking your coordinates wherever you might go. The further you strayed from your roots, the larger Zero became. It's as if he was trying to close the gap between you. But before long, he disappeared from public life. Only a few people had direct contact with him. For a time, I was one of them. Then a year after you fell into your coma, he slipped out of sight entirely. Since then, nothing. No photos, no recordings, not even a reliable rumor as to his whereabouts. I tried every method I could think of, but Zero was gone. Freed of his control, his creation, his power continued to grow. Cypher is a great beast, and Zero was its spine. But even without him, it's endured, evolved. But now its body is rotting, riddled with parasites. Parasites like the ones who attacked you 9 years ago in the Caribbean, and then at the hospital. Cypher's Black Ops unit, XOF. They learned where you were, and came to wipe the slate clean. Christmas Eve, 1979, the Soviet Union rolled into Afghanistan. Muslims had revolted against the Soviet-friendly regime established the year before. The DRA forces could no longer contain it themselves, so the Soviets went in to intervene. The Afghan government was powerless and fraught with infighting. They lost the hearts and minds of the people, and that alarmed the Soviet leadership. With the Islamic Revolution happening in Iran, the Soviets felt they had to act fast or risk the spread of Islamic revivalism. A superpower, sending a motorized rifle division against men on horseback with antique rifles. Everyone thought it'd be over in an instant, only it wasn't. Some Muslims made their fight a jihad, a holy war, and began a guerrilla campaign on all fronts. A war of attrition. These fighters call themselves Mujahideen. They're being supported by the West through Pakistan. That's why Miller was involved. He was training them near the Zero Line, sponsored by the CIA. The war has become a nightmare for the Soviet troops stationed here. They thought they'd be headed home in 6 months at the most. Then a year passed. 2 years. Now here we are 4 years on with no exit in sight. Afghanistan has become the Soviet Union's Vietnam. The Soviet troops on the ground want to go home, but at least they have homes to go back to. The Afghans have lost theirs. The Soviets destroy the kishlaks, villages, wherever they can. They burn down homes and fields, fill in wells, turn pastures into minefields. It's created a mass of refugees who fled to Pakistan. If the Mujahideen are fish swimming around the villages, the Soviets will go so far as to dry out their ocean. But this has had a big price. There's bitter resentment among the Afghans, and they're taking out their anger on the soldiers on the front lines. Among the Mujahideen are the Pashtun people. They're fiercely devoted to their code of Badal, or revenge. Soviets they've captured have had their hands, feet, and noses cut off before being left to die at the side of the road, just to show their comrades what they're capable of. Friendlies who come across them can do nothing but put them out of their misery. Then they burn down another village in retaliation. And the cycle of vengeance goes on.
Kaz, what about the unit that attacked us in the mist? You knew something about them.
That wasn't my first run-in with them. It happened right before I was captured by the Soviets. We were on the Zero Line that day, the Afghan side. On our way back from training the Mujahideen at a mountain camp in Kunar province. There's a lot of that work in Afghanistan. Most PFs shy away from it because it draws too much attention. But for us, that was the whole point. The job itself went great. We just had to make it back to a tribal area in Pakistan. But all of a sudden, visibility got real bad. It was no sandstorm. Our point man gave the strange report. He said he could see skulls in the mist.
Skulls?
The next moment, he went silent. We scrambled into formation, right before his arms and legs came raining down on us. It was always supposed to be a dangerous mission, so I had Diamond Dog's very best with me. We were calling out to each other. But one by one, the voices just went dead. Whatever happened to me, I lost consciousness before I knew it. When I came to, I was in a Soviet camp, tied to an interrogation chair.
Could they be some new Spetsnaz unit?
No. The ones that interrogated me were just the average rank and file. Whatever group attacked us, the way they moved was just insane. And that mist, appearing out of nowhere. The Soviets don't have tech like that.
If they did, Ocelot would have heard about it.
I doubt the West does either. Otherwise, the folks at Langley would be sleeping a lot easier.
Why'd they come after you?
Wish I knew. I'm the only one who survived. Though I don't think they planned it that way. If I was their target, they wouldn't have just handed me over to the 40th Army. Whatever the case, we need to watch our step until we know who they really are. And boss, if you ever do run into them again, don't try to take them on. You just get the hell out of there. When I first started dealing with Zero, with Cypher, it was a somewhat parasitic relationship. Though, a mutually beneficial one. Cypher had no army of their own, so they wanted us. They wanted our strength. They approached me as a potential business partner.
But they had other motives.
Cypher coaxed us into Central America, into that US-Soviet proxy war, to fuel Mother Base's growth. Once we were big enough, they'd force us to join them. That was the plan.
That's why they had Paz, still Zeke.
Right. And if we refused, she would use Zeke to fire a nuke from Mother Base. The world would consider us a liability, and countries would unite to destroy us.
We stopped the launch.
And yet they still took us down. Through that fake inspection they orchestrated to cover up their sabotage. That power Cypher wanted. We don't have it anymore. So why are they still after you? Is it just the fear of leaving you alive?
I don't know. Was Zero really... All I know is the man I knew wouldn't want this.
What do you mean?
We have to consider that it might not be Zero we're dealing with.
We know virtually nothing about Cypher anymore. How big they've gotten, what they want. or even who they really are. The new mother base started out as a test drilling rig operated by a mineral resources supplier, but their project fell through. The Seychelles government was happy to hand the place over to us. It was just scrap on stilts. So with a few dummy construction companies set up as fronts, we started renovating the half-finished rig. From the outside, it looked like the project was back on rails.
Kaz, you...
What?
I see what you're doing. Recreating the mother base we had 9 years ago. Only this time.
That's right. The mother base Cypher thought they destroyed will return from the grave to kill them. We'll prove to the world that we were the victors.
And if we lose again?
They can't fool us the same way twice. Now our enemies are in plain sight. And when our organization gets too big, we split it across companies. Any company that draws attention gets liquidated, and its capital is back-channeled into a new company. Most PFs are small-time operations anyway. And in this business, the minnows go bankrupt all the time. We've never aroused suspicion. Plus, we have Hewick.
Hewick?
Human Exploitation Company. It's a business specializing in intel gathering. Think of it as a civilian intelligence agency.
Kaz, that's...
Remember what they were trying to accomplish at the prison facility in Cuba? That gave me the idea. We dispatch moles into conflict zones around the world, and each sets up an intel network on site. Then they stay in place to give us stable points of contact when other nations intervene in the conflicts. Hewick's strength is that it has a cutout at each level. You get your job from one guy, then you hand it off to another. No one has direct access. It's a perfect black box. Hewick members also work their way into the superpowers intelligence agencies to make sure Diamond Dogs gets work. We have those countries by the balls. That's our deterrent when we need it.
Networking? In the intelligence community?
Sure, that's how we've grown this far. And when you go out on missions, intel from Hewick will be there to back you up. But despite all that, Cypher has its eyes on us. The only reason I'm not dead is that they needed to know where you were. Figured if you woke up, I'd go straight to you.
That's why you made that ruckus at the zero line.
Yeah, to make their own surveillance work against them. I think it took some of the heat off Cyprus.
Kaz.
Then I just had to wait for you to save me. And I've gotten used to waiting.
Kaz.
That's not all. It was a good chance to scout the market. And with the West wanting the Soviets out of Afghanistan, their agencies are bursting at the seams with funding. Boss, let's start by building up our Afghan presence.
Why put Mother Base in the Seychelles?
We're at the center of the world here.
We're all the way out in the Indian Ocean.
Come on. Lebanon, Sri Lanka, East Timor, and Africa. From here, our reach extends to conflict zones the world over, including Afghanistan, of course.
So it's prime real estate for a mercenary.
Exactly. Latin America isn't as close as I'd like, but we have Amanda and her people to help in that department. And besides, the Seychelles government owes us a favor.
Owes us?
The Seychelles has strong ties to the east, which the West wanted to shake up. It came to a head 3 years ago in an attempted coup. It was a force of South African mercenaries with U.S. backing behind the scenes. They were only platoon size, but South Africa is home to some heavy PFs, too much for the Seychelles to handle. In the end, they accepted help from the Tanzanian army and quelled the coup. We set up the deal and handled on-site tactical instruction. That led to some training work for the Seychelles military. And when we put down a mutiny within their forces, well, we made a lot of people happy. They don't pay us. They just let us have a piece of their offshore territory on the promise we'll come running if something else happens.
So we're bodyguards, too.
It's a good setup. We can only take Mother Base so far here. We'll have to find somewhere else when this place starts getting big.
Aren't you being a little hasty?
Nothing hasty about it. You're back with us now.
So, Kaz, the ship that took us from Cyprus, it used to be a whaler.
Yeah, a Japanese vessel. How was the voyage?
It was... stimulating.
Well, she was part of a whaling fleet up until a few years ago. Her displacement isn't anything to write home about, but she can really move. She still had plenty of life left in her, but then the work dried up. Global opposition to whaling has been mounting for years.
Is that right?
The push to ban it has been gaining traction for a little over a decade. Individual species came under protection as the years went on. And then 2 years ago, the IWC adopted a moratorium on commercial whaling. Several countries, including Japan, fought it to the bitter end. But eventually, most whaling companies had no choice but to throw in the towel. You ever tried whale snake?
Can't say that I have.
When I was a kid in Japan, practically everybody ate it.
That good, huh?
The country was poor in those days, and whale was cheap. International opinions changed since then. In any case, that's why we were able to get a bargain price on the ship. Of course, we did end up spending 5 times the purchase price in modifications. We had to really work to fit in all the ESM and communications gear while keeping the whaler look intact. Right now she's going around conducting SIGINT missions. In the future, we plan to use her as a communications relay base between you and Mother Base, and also as a chopper resupply vessel. Diamond dogs. The word diamond originally comes from the Greek adamas. It means indomitable, unyielding. Other words for the stones often mean eternal bond, fortitude, or purity. The same is true of the Star of Bethlehem flowers you laid on the boss's grave. They represent innocence, as well as chastity, yielding to no man while maintaining one's virtue. In other words, staying loyal to something.
Okay, there we go. fair bit of information there, but skip forward as you will. Well, I obviously am playing the game blind, so I want to listen to this stuff. And I'm sure some of you might want to listen to it as well if you haven't already played the game yourself. So there you go. We're now ready. We're all informationed up and good to go. One final little thing, one final tinsy-wincy little thing before I go. Now, I think I've uploaded 10 videos so far, and 7 of the 10 videos have got matched copyright issues or third-party copyright issues, either from Konami, which I'm assuming is from their FMVs, video modes, or from the music that's playing in the background, because there's a lot of music tapes that you can play. So I'm getting a lot of copyright issues with that, which I'm not bothered about, as long as I don't take my bloody website down. But, it's all been third-party content, which is perfectly reasonably fine. It just means that they put adverts on the video, and that's it. It's not banned in any countries. I'm not getting any copyright strikes. It's just matched content. So I'm going to continue this LP on with these matched contents, not a problem. And I'm going to also be playing some of the music as well. If I'm already getting copyright issues, then it makes no difference if I play the music or not. So I'm going to be enjoying the 80s pop music as we go along. And I have the helicopter music set to Only Time Will Tell, which is what I picked up from the communications post in the last session. And I really, really love this music. I love this track. I think it's absolutely fabulous. Who knew 80s music was so good? I mean, I do know 80s music so good, because I absolutely... There's a nightclub in Leeds that plays... There's a nightclub in Leeds that plays a lot of 70s and 80s music, specifically. And when I go out night clubbing, I always end up in there, because I am a massive fan of it, sort of 70s and 80s music. So, yeah. So expect to be hearing the odd music track playing occasionally when I'm undertaking missions or riding on the horse, and also when the helicopter's picking me up. I thought it was a really nice little touch there. So anyway, there we go. Now it's time to accept a mission. Now I've got about an hour left, no, less than that now. I've got about 40 minutes left, so I'm going to jump straight into a main mission rather than a side mission, because I reckon the main mission
Please select a mission.
might take me a little bit of a while. So the next side mission that we have, or the next main mission, sorry, is A Hero's Way. We have to eliminate a Spetsnaz detachment commander secretly involved in the Scorched Earth operation in Afghanistan. Let's play the briefing tape.
Farming villages in southern Vahan have been subjected to a strategic bombing campaign the past several weeks. The damage is spreading. It's part of the Soviet Scorched Earth operation aimed at wiping out the guerrillas. The target this time is the commander of a Spetsnaz detachment. He's been key to the operation's success. People say this guy's responsible for annihilating the Mujahideen at Tismasi Laman, the Hamid fighters, overnight. He's a tough, experienced commander. Don't underestimate him. The order from my client in the west is to shoot on sight. They want him out of the picture for good. Sorry, boss. This one's purely business. Wet work. A hit on a commanding officer of the Soviet military. Nothing personal. We're only doing this because it gets us one step closer to our goal.
Okay. Now I'm wondering here. We've been tasked to eliminate him, to put a bullet between his eyes, which is perfectly fine. But then, can we extract him? Surely a commander of such ability would be far more useful to us, working on our side. So I'm going to try to see if we can extract him rather than just shoot him on sight. You know, shooting on sight is not my style. So here we go. We're going to accept the mission.
Mission accepted.
We're going to land over here, I suppose. And we're going to get kitted out and ready to go. So we have this and this. We have the pistol and our bionic arm. Support weapons. The C4, the smoke grenade, the hand grenade, the flare grenade and flare supply, capture cage, and that's, I think, everything. It is indeed. We have items, the cigar, the cardboard box, night vision, and the upgraded tools at our disposal. We're going to deck out our horse in battle dress. Look at that. It's a she. It's a he, is it a she? I'm calling it a she. Somebody said it was a he. You can't tell. So I'm assuming it's a girl. And it's mayonnaise, of course. Looking fine. No vehicles. Of course, we can only select Snake. But this is the big one. We're putting on the sneaking suit. Oh, yeah. Now, I don't know what the sneaking suit does in terms of camouflage. Because it's kind of grey. I'm wearing like yellow dusty sand, so how does this work? And look at that symbol on the side of it. Alright. No head option. That's everything. And we're going to go under the cover of darkness.
Deploying.
We've got to be very careful. We've got to be careful how we undertake our missions and what we do, because the enemy apparently does adapt to how you go about affairs. So if we're doing a lot of headshotting, we're going under the cover of darkness a lot, then they will counter that by either having more lights, heavier patrols in the night time. They will start wearing helmets. So we've got to mix it up a little bit. So sometimes we'll have to bite the bullet and maybe infiltrate during the day just to try and keep the heat off ourselves for the important missions.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander.
In
Your
the night.
orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Dishago Calais and eliminate the target.
I've got to admit, the one thing I don't like as we are about to land is that I don't like the fact that they tell you exactly who's going to be in the mission during the intro credits. So I look away from the screen when the intro credits are on because I don't want to see who's going to be turning up. It kind of spoils the surprise, doesn't it? And as you can hear, we've got the music blaring.
The map has been updated.
Be careful down there, boss.
See you later, Pequod! You sound like a disco! Ah. You're leaving now. I'm not leaving, I'm arriving. It's in your eyes. There's no disguising it. Anyway. Okay, so we've got missions here. We've got a variety of missions. We don't know what they are, but once we replay the mission, it will tell us exactly what the side objectives were. So I'm not going to be overly concerned with getting everything on the first try. So I'm just going to be interested in getting the main mission done. I will be keeping my eye out for stuff. And one more thing that I want to address quickly before we continue on is I did a side mission off camera. I did the extracting a Russian interpreter. It was a very quick thing to do, and the reason why I did this is because I needed a Russian interpreter to enable me to speak to the prisoners, because in the main mission to replay the communications post sabotage, there was a side mission to extract 2 prisoners in the Duwilo village, and to find out where they were I had to interrogate the soldiers, so I needed the Russian interpreter to be able to replay the mission and get the side objectives done. So I did that as well. So there you go. As we now canter our way towards the objective. In our new sneaking suit. I thought I saw a herb here. Do bear with me. I have a very annoying for me. It's probably annoying for some of you as well. It's annoying for me. If I see something that I can pick or pluck or gather, I have to do it. You know, I have to loot. I have to do it. And I could pop these sheep off as well as they're running around, but I better save my darts for the mission. Because we obviously are collecting animals as well. Hello, sheep. Oops, oh, I've done it again. I've done it again. Thankfully, he didn't die. Crushed him beneath my horse's hooves here. Hello, sheep. Here we go. We have eyeball on the facility. Now, can we get a nice position here, nice elevated position to scout out as much as we can?
You have arrived. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Right, we're in. The snake has slithered in.
You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
Analysis complete.
So as you can see there, when we analyse the people now, we can see what skills they've got, whether they've got C's, D's. I think at the first level, we can only see up to a level B. So, but yeah, it's very handy. But I mean, my strategy is
Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
my strategy.
Analysis complete.
Bloody hell,
Analysis complete.
Analysis. Oh, he's here.
Is that him?
Analysis.
Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets.
He's here. The red beret gave it away. Giving a briefing here. Giving a briefing to his men. Now, if we had a sniper rifle right now, we could pop him off all the way from over here and run away from the mission. And mission done. And I'm sure we get an S rank. Just on pure speed alone.
A portable toilet. If you're gonna hide inside, watch the enemy doesn't decide to use it. Same goes for hiding downed enemies in it.
I mean, we do have a sniper rifle, but I mean, that was quite far away. I don't know how accurate I would be at this massive distance, to be quite honest with you.
Analysis complete.
Right, well, I'm not going to be walking down this main road, that's for sure. That is for certain.
Analysis complete.
Another guard here.
Analysis complete.
Okay, that appears to be everybody that I can see so far from this angle. I'll try and get another angle. I can see a bit more from this angle here. There's a building here, searchlight there, but there seems to be no guard.
Analysis complete.
The guard over there. Oh, maybe he's coming to man this here. Excuse me. Seems to be going that way, doesn't he? I think this is a first natural place to go. Take him out and get to this. Get to this here. See another guard, a couple of guards here.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Alright. Now I was going to say, before I found the commander and interrupted myself, that I will be full-on extracting as many people as possible. Maybe not specifically just to get them back to base for their skills, but if you full-ton them away, they can't wake up from their slumbers to cause you grief. And that way you don't have to kill them either. So that's quite a handy way to get rid of them, to stop them from interrupting your affairs. Anyway, we're going to be moving in now. Moving in and taking our first victim of the session.